Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Did you guys sign in out there?
Yeah, they're signing in.
Okay, very good.
Am I first? Oh no, Jackie, are you? Who's first?
I think I'm.
Actually, Jackie's first, but we're gonna do, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners suspends the July 3rd, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Roll call?
Sabrina.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes. All right, next we have Miss Jackie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All I have today are the budget amendments and expenditures, so just those two journal entries, unless the board has any questions on those.
No, I didn't, Jill?
No, and thank you for giving us, the backup of the Nanelle, so that was helpful.
That's very
Yeah.
appreciative.
Yep.
All right, in accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code, this board's resolution 21-0396 and this board's resolution 21-0878, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval too. I'll make a motion to direct the auditor's office to pay process the July 3rd, 2025 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then announce as applicable contingent upon the verification of the reports as presented by the county auditor and viewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to process the July 3rd, 2025 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Short and
That-
sweet.
yeah, that's
Very
good.
short.
We'll
Thanks,
take
Jackie.
it. Thank you, Jackie.
Kelly, Joe, and team are on.
They want to stay back there for a little bit. Is that all right?
Oh, sure. They're fine.
But we're going to start with this team. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Job and Family Services, about a decade ago, did create a speakers bureau for the community. And the goal at that time was to have our team go out into the community and present on all of our vast programs and services. And so we've done a great job over the years, but with COVID, things kind of died down. And so we are so ecstatic that we've resurrected our speakers bureau. So the first flyer that you have in your packet is highlighting our new team. So we have about a dozen team members that have volunteered to be a part of the renewed Speakers Bureau. And their three goals are going to be the welcoming committee for all of the new JFS employees. So on day one, team members are going to welcome them, do an introduction, talk about why they chose a career at JFS, tour them across the agency, and also share about the programs and services. This team behind me and about 8 other individuals spent, 3 or 4 full days learning about each other's programs cross-divisional so they can start to become subject matter experts on the entire agency. So additionally, You'll have a press release in your packet this week. We're going to do a press release out to our community partners and invite individuals to make formal requests for us to come out to organizations and speak about our programs and services. So that would be tier number 2. And then we often get invitations to set up information tables, go to the fair, go to colleges. So this team is excited to be a part of that. And finally, and later in my packet, we do our annual Tulip Town Poverty Simulation. So this team will take a huge part in that. So I just wanted to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves briefly and talk about what position they hold, just so you can familiarize. We'll start with Sharon.
Good morning, I'm Sharon Spence. I'm the current administrator at Child Support.
I'm Melissa Ruiz. I'm the Family Team Meeting Facilitator in Adult and Child Protective Services.
Thank you.
I'm Dustin Dickerson. I'm a supervisor for the child support.
Alex MacArthur, the administrator for public assistance.
And I'm Audrey Riley. I'm the public information officer.
Great. Well, thank you.
So there they are. And so thank you guys for coming. And so we're so excited for our new Speakers Bureau. Lovely.
All right.
They came
Thank
just
you
for
your
you.
time.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, guys. I'll have to get you guys some appointments because I'm involved in all these committees and chambers and stuff. I'll have to get you scheduled.
Thank
The
you,
link
sounds
is-
great.
Test out your speed.
The link is active on our website now, so you can click on the website and just request a.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice. In the flyer, there's a little QR code,
Add a
so
QR code,
it'll be
okay.
blast to the community.
That's
Pretty
great.
formal
Or
stuff.
you can just contact me, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, great, thank you.
All right, Miss
right.
Kelly Jo.
So our data report, I don't see a lot of variances in data, but a few that I highlighted. Public Assistance Division, I have not seen a lot of vast changes. Just in the Ohio Means Jobs arena on page 3, did see a slight decrease in the amount of residents that came into our lobby or into our Ohio Means Job Center in May. There were 528. And so it was 611, but that wasn't significant, but really not much change in Ohio Means Jobs. There's 209 on page 4.
Hey
Youth-
Joe, can I
Uh-huh.
stop you for a second?
Yep.
I did have a question on the net transportation report. I
Okay.
see that the amount of trips declined by vendors went down, which I'm
Yep.
grateful for.
Beautiful.
But then I see the total amount of workforce trips completed by vendors was significantly down. So is there a reason for that? I mean, I
Which,
I'm
are you
just-
talking about 121, 173 to
Yeah.
121?
yeah, I just find that interesting because, I mean, I see the trips declined was down, but then I take a look and I see, well, the amount of requests is way down.
But you also can also, and I don't know if it's a direct correlation, the amount of gas cards we issue was more. So it
So,
could also
okay.
correlate to, I can do a deeper dive, but you're seeing more people asking for gas cards as
Okay.
opposed to trips. So it could be
I
that
was
people.
just curious,
Yeah.
yeah, whenever you get a chance.
I will follow
just-
up on that just to,
I'm
because,
just curious, so.
Yeah. thank you, good
I
question.
apologize there.
No worries, I'm gonna.
So what page we're on for?
So I was, CCMEP, page
Yeah.
4, comprehensive case management, those are young people 14 to 24, we're really steady, we're serving about 209, youth in that space, but pretty consistent. Benefit Bridge, we have 34 individuals enrolled in that program, I just wanted to share a success story for that.
That's what I always wait for.
Yep, so we have an individual, a female, and she originally in 2017 was in the Horizon House receiving treatment for substance abuse. She was struggling to maintain sobriety and she relapsed after leaving that facility. And so several years later, she interfaced with our Benefit Bridge program. Through that space and through support with Benefit Bridge, she secured employment with Wendy's. She's now was residing in a recovery center. She successfully interfaced with sobriety. She was able to attend financial literacy classes, actively began working on budgeting and repairing her credit. She started saving money to secure her own housing. Fast forward to today, she's gainfully employed. She received assistance with the down payment for her own vehicle. She's now moved into her own trailer, and the most beautiful thing is she regained custody of her son. So great success in that space. So, yep, good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Child and Adult Protective Services, at the end of May, we had 97 kiddos in custody, and as of Monday, 87.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, Adult Protective, as I talked about last week, we're seeing a trend in higher cases. At 64 the end of May, and as of Monday, we had 66. So we're getting more referrals. We also recognize, though, last month was Elder Abuse Awareness Month, so
Yeah.
we could be getting more referrals, and that's a good thing, right? And other than that, I didn't see anything else data related that I thought was concerning, unless you had any follow-up questions.
I did not have
I did that.
Okay. And then just highlight a few things just briefly. It'll take a minute or two. We've announced to the community our 2025 back-to-school clothing voucher program. So that program started June 23rd through August 8th, and individuals are able to apply to receive a $150 voucher for kids' schools, or clothes and shoes. So that's a beautiful program. We often serve over 1,000 families each year for that.
And I'd like to mention that, you know, that kind of coincides with the Ohio sales tax holiday.
Yes.
So that's great, so the Ohio sales tax holiday is August 1st through August 14th this year.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully that can help them save a little bit more money,
Money.
make it stretch a little further.
Yep,
So,
absolutely,
yeah.
that's great, yep.
I wanted to ask Kelly Jo, is there any way that you could have your team, like, send us these that are formatted, like, for social media, so that we could post them, like, on Facebook
Yep.
and stuff?
Yep.
That would be very helpful, because a lot of times I share this stuff.
Yeah.
And especially this, because I know every year you have people like, I didn't know, so, and I have a pretty nice following.
Yeah.
And people share it, and we could get the word out.
I will ask Audrey to do that.
I would appreciate that, thank you.
You're welcome. And then we have our annual Back to School Health and Wellness Fair. We have had it for the last 3 or 4 years at our Ohio Means Jobs parking lot. We share it with our, inside of our building. But we absolutely provide back to school supports and resources as far as book bags and those things for families. We have speakers, we have vendors, 25 vendors that come to provide information to families about, you know, immunizations and at-risk stuff. And so it's a great event, and we get hundreds of families that come out to that. And then you have we've always had guiding principles, but we've really honed in on identifying true customer service standards. So the flyer that you have, we're purchasing big big signage for our lobby walls with our logo. We really want the community to understand what our standards are, that if you come into our lobbies, you come into our buildings, you'll be seen that day. Just what our expectations are, that we have excellent standards, and we expect our team to treat people with positive and friendly demeanor, and so we want them to understand that. So by posting them, it keeps us all accountable to what we do and who we serve, right? And then the last thing is our annual Tulip Town. That's our poverty simulation. We've been doing that for about 5 years. This year, new, October 8th, where DD is hosting us at Happy Day School. So they have that big auditorium. We will absolutely invite all of you. It's really geared towards private sector elected officials, Chamber of Commerce members, those that interface with a lot of our programs and services. The experience allows you to experience what, in a simulation format, of course, a month in the life of somebody struggling with poverty. So it's set up to understand some of the nuances and challenges with systems. So I hope that you guys can join us this year. And that was it that I had. Good?
I don't have any other questions, Jill, do you?
No,
All right, thank you, Kelly Jo.
Thank you. I think I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good. Hi, how are you? All right, so that takes us to our county administrator.
I'd like to request an executive session, please.
All right. Where did Sabrina put that?
Here's this one.
Under
Oh,
G1.
Yeah, G1.
All right, so, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1, the Board of Commissioners moves into executive session to consider the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee.
Second?
I know that section, we'll step out.
Okay, thank you.
Sabrina?
Yes, Jill?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina?
Yes?
Jill?
Yes.
No action.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you, Kelly
Kelly
Jo.
Hey, how are you?
And next, we have our friend from the Portage Development Board. Diana, did you want to come up?
Sure.
Or whoever's gonna go over? The Enterprise Zone Agreement?
Hi, Diana.
Hello. Okay, hopefully you've already received the project
Yes.
summary
We've
for it.
got the summary, we've got the resolution.
Okay, great, then you've
Yeah,
got everything from me. I figured it would be best to talk with the people that are actually gonna do the project,
Okay.
okay? So Mike and Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on
Yeah.
up, kid.
Real quickly, I'm Terry Seeberger. I'm an attorney. Don't hold that against me. I am just here to accompany Justin Logan and Bob Dehoff. Dan apparently is on another continent right now, and maybe Justin can come up and talk about this project. And before he does that, I will say that we were thrilled by the cooperation that we got, A from the township, B from the Port Authority, and C from the Commissioner's office. So, thank you.
Very good. Hi.
Good morning, members of the
morning.
commission. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us this morning about this project, and we are very excited about the opportunity to bring this facility to Portage County and to the Brimfield Talmadge communities where it's located. So what's being proposed is a 107 unit building that's a residential care facility, so more probably commonly known as senior living, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing assisted living, memory care, and some independent living there. It's a 100,000 square foot building, so it's fairly significant, and it's adjacent to the Maple Crest development that we also were the master developers on as well. So representing the developer here, but also representing the operator, which is the Village of St. Edwards. So Village of St. Edwards is a well-established, non-for-profit, Catholic-based community that focuses on senior care. Their corporate headquarters is in Fairlawn. They have a few other facilities around, and we have done another project similar to this one with them in Greene, so we're looking to bring this to this community. It's really very needed in our communities, especially in Northeast Ohio. We see consistent demand for high quality and affordable care for our seniors. You know, we are above average in population in Northeast Ohio compared to Ohio and other states. And so we have a lot of people aging in, a lot of people talk about the baby boomer generation and the demand that's coming. So providing a much needed service to the community, but also high quality jobs to this area. So I mean, generally you're looking at, you know, close to a 1-to-1 ratio. If you have 100 beds, you're probably gonna end up with about 100 employees. There's usually a mix of part-time, full-time. I think we've budgeted about 86 or so in this project, but so good paying jobs to the community and providing a much needed service and hopefully some nice new, you know, high quality senior living. And that's what the village does. So I don't know, that's my short abbreviation. I could go on and on about stuff you don't care about, I'm sure, but.
No, I have actually been to the facility in Greene. I went there and toured it, and then I went to their Village Fest recently.
Oh, you're
And
very.
so, and you know, the thing that I really like about, other than the stellar care and its enjoyment, you see people there, they are really engaged, and other than they have their own little private bar area, the pub.
The pub,
I
yeah.
love the sanctuary. I love the chapel. It is so beautiful, and it's my understanding that that's the same footprint kind of that's going to be
Yes.
here in Brimfield.
It is, and the only thing that's different, it's funny that you mentioned the chapel, is slightly larger in this one. Otherwise, it's very similar. So again, they're a faith-based community. It's very important to what they bring, and so we expanded the chapel just a little bit, made it a little bit more prominent in the front of the building, but very similar footprint.
I was just going to say, when I was looking at the print, yeah, the chapel's in the front, whereas the other one,
Yeah, right.
it's like off.
Yeah, it's kind of, you see it immediately. You walk in, there's a nice big glass kind of atrium where the chapel is, and so a really nice place to worship there. Very beautiful building from the facade, but yeah.
And I see that both the school district, Maplewood and Field, were notified, and obviously no one's here today to contest against it. Have we heard anything from them,
Nothing
Diana?
from them at all.
Okay.
So nothing at all, and I noticed that those were sent out the end of May and then again, June to
Yeah, they
notify
get sent
about
out
this meeting.
for the trustees meeting, and then
Uh-huh.
they get sent out again for this meeting.
Okay,
Mike has a comment.
I have spoken with the school superintendent and they're supportive of the project.
okay.
Is that for Field or Maplewood?
Field.
Both?
Okay, and you haven't heard from Maplewood?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually don't hear from them unless they have a problem with the project.
Yeah, cause I see that, as you mentioned, it's gonna create about 83 jobs, full-time, part-time, and, with a payroll of like, a new payroll,
New
really,
payroll.
of $4 million.
$4 million.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good, you know,
Yeah.
for Jay.
Caregiver jobs, right, so you've got
And-
some nurses in there and, you know, different levels of care, but all pretty well paying jobs and, it'll be a nice place to work. The village is a good employer, definitely puts the residents first, and it's a nonprofit, so they are focused on delivering care and not just on profits, obviously. That's hopefully a good place to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I just wanna say our office is very supportive of the project, and also they've already received assistance from the Port Authority too, so the Port
Yeah.
Authority is very, interested in this project.
Yeah, and so,
Yeah,
alright.
I had some kind of detailed questions, just regarding the enterprise zone itself agreement. And, I was just curious how the terms were determined as far as the,
10 years.
the 60% and the 10 years.
That's what they requested from the trustees, and the trustees approved that.
Okay,
That's also partly driven by statute.
okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that, cause I just got this information, Monday afternoon, so I tried to look into as much as I could, and also had, our clerk pull some other, agreements we've done in the past, so I just kinda wanted to look at them in relationship to that.
And Commissioner, and Bob has pointed out, that you'll probably find when you look at those other agreements, it wouldn't shock me if they were 10-year, 60% agreements. I represent governments also, so I've done enterprise zone agreements from the government side down in Stark and Tuscarawas, the county, and that is a fairly common. In fact, in my experience, it's like the only numbers I've seen.
Okay, yeah, I just recall, and I'm going back a little ways, when we used to have the personal property tax exemption, and I would see schedules that were more like step downs. So you'd start maybe at like 60% for the first 2 years, and then 40%, et cetera.
And
So,
they can still do that.
Pardon me?
They can still do that.
Mhm.
Townships can go up to 60% for up to 10 years.
Okay.
Cities can go 75% for up to 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's negotiated, and the trustees decided to approve the 100% for 6.
So that makes sense why maybe the
60%.
schools aren't here, because I know certain tax abatements, once you get to that 75% threshold, then it does have to be voted on by the schools and
That's
stuff.
correct.
So since we're below that, that's why we just have notifications.
Right.
It's not like they could really deny it or,
Yeah, anything over
They
the
could voice their-
60,
yeah.
anything over the 60% for townships, you have to get approval from
Do
the
ya?
schools.
Yeah.
And with the cities, it's 75%, then you have to get.
Oh, so they would
that's
have
where we're
to,
at.
okay, so you just notify them, they do not have to give their approval.
Correct.
I
But if they go above the 75% or
Uh-huh.
above the 60%,
Then you would.
then we need
seek their
approval.
okay.
Okay.
So that makes sense, cause that's why I was like, so that's why they're not really actively engaged, but for townships, I didn't realize townships had the 60%.
Yep.
I remember the 75% threshold, but,
Yeah, that's for the cities and villages.
see, I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if you had a projected revenue stream of savings to the tenant, and which would be the, kind of the revenue that was not going to come back to the county or to the township, if you had, projections of those?
That I don't.
Okay.
I have them, I
You
don't
have
have
them?
them off the top of my head though.
Okay.
I can provide them when I get back to my office,
Okay.
but we've done modeling on what the
Perfect,
parcels would be.
Yeah, I'd
We
be
can
curious
provide
to
what
see
we
that
would think the
information.
value of that would be.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, if we don't have any other questions, let's see here, oh, we have it under internal services. do we wanna go ahead and just do it now while they're here? I know a lot
I
of.
would actually like to table it, just based on that information, to get
Okay.
that information from this gentleman and.
Oh,
Would you
Just to
be
get-
able to get that information,
Yeah, today?
by a call to your office?
Yeah, I can step out and make a quick phone call.
yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
Cause I know it's sensitive to you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Was
I
it
have
like
another
time-
commissioner that has some questions. He was, concerned about the fire department. Has anyone talked to the fire department as far as rescue response?
Yes, yes, we have. So, at the trustee meeting, the fire chief was at the meeting when this was voted on, and had no comment,
He had no comment?
no comment.
So what's your timeline on this? I know it was sorta delayed a little bit, but are you okay?
I will tell you, the timeline, we can't start until the economics work, because this is a financed project. We're starting, I think, pretty much as soon as we get approval from the county on the abatement. So, sooner the better,
Okay.
not only for us, but also for
Oh,
St. Ed's.
okay.
We'll get you the numbers. I mean, I could probably almost ballpark them. I mean, it has a lot to do with how much the county auditor will value the improvements at. And typically, I know in Stark County and Tusk County, the taxes are roughly 2% of the market value, not the reduced value. So you got a number?
Yes, so again, as Terry was mentioning, we're gonna try to assume what we think that the county auditor is gonna value it for. So in our modeling, we had assumed that the tax value, or the taxable burden would be $200,000 a year on this parcel in this constructed project with the improvements we think. So it'd be 60% of that. So we would be at,
It'd be 120,000.
120,000, yeah, a year would be the abatement. So they would pay the 80 for the period.
Does Mike have other questions, or does he wanna wait? I mean.
The preference is if we,
I
if
kinda
one of
wanna
our
wait. I wanna
commissioners
look
is
at
not
this a little
here,
bit
he would
more,
prefer to
because that's their
table
big
it if
numbers.
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Not forever, obviously,
no.
just until he can get some information. He's out on vacation, but he did have concerns about the response, the life safety response, so.
Yeah, and once again, for the record, that did go through the trustee board. Nick Koya is the liaison to the fire department. He voted yes for it. There was no concerns from the fire department at the trustee level. Terry Seeberger, along with Dehoff, were represented, as well as Brad, at the trustee meeting. And there was no questions, no comments. Everybody was excited. The township as a whole is very excited for St. Edwards to come in. This is probably the most amount of calls for a project that we have seen, other than Aldi's, so.
I wonder if we could get the numbers for like the green project to see the number of calls and stuff, and if it's.
Yeah, I think we could do that. Certainly we could get numbers for comparable
Yeah.
projects. I mean, I'm thinking Brimfield Township has got plenty of rescue forces. I also represent a couple fire departments that deal with facilities like this.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is not going to be a problem. This is not
Yeah.
like a 5-story facility or anything like that.
Yeah, it's assisted living, it's not skilled.
Well,
That is a
Correct.
good clarification
And that's
as well.
the
So
main
there
difference.
is a
Okay.
big difference in acuity between a skilled nursing facility and what's being presented here. This is usually fairly able-bodied, but we're no longer to maybe remain independent, or we've chosen to move in here because we like the amenities and the community that we're connecting with. So usually some pills that need to be delivered on a daily basis, but it's not the post-acute, no ventilators anywhere, no, that sort of thing, so. But,
And mind you, so what has been created as well as part of the Maple Crest project, and these projects in here, there's been 2 TIFs that have been created through this, and this is helping pay for one of those TIFs as well. The second TIF, and the first TIF actually went to police and fire, so that is actually helping to produce more firemen in that area, as well as the JED money that is gonna be coming into Talmadge and to us as well, is gonna be help supplying fire personnel for these projects. The conversation I've had with the assistant chief, Ron Goodspeed, is that there's a lot of calls for nursing facilities. This is assisted living. And he was not concerned with the assisted living, he was actually excited about it. He's been through the whole project, so we have something in Brimfield called a fire certificate of compliance. So when the project first starts off, you get a zoning certificate and you get a fire certificate of compliance. So the fire department is involved when I'm involved. So as soon as we hear the project, so all their concerns are upfront. How the response is gonna be, if there's enough people, and if there wasn't enough firemen, or there was a concern from fire, their time to speak up is when it comes to our Board of Zoning Appeals, because this is a conditional use. And then the Board of Zoning Appeals requires the fire department respond, hey, do you have enough personnel? Is there enough to respond on this? And it did do their due diligence. Fire department had no comment at the Board of Zoning Appeals, and had no comment at the township trustee level. So I don't think that should be a concern for the commissioners.
Well, his background is life safety and police and fire, so he's
Yeah.
going to do his due diligence, just asking some questions. He's
That's
just
fair.
he's looking out for the citizens, so.
And he lives in Brookfield.
Yes, he does.
Oh,
So does Jill.
Yes, I do.
okay.
So this is for a real estate abatement, obviously. Have you guys looked into like the JED for wages? Is that something that you typically look into for, you know, isn't there something for wages that you can do? And maybe I'm
Okay,
incorrect.
They're
What
part
you're
of the
talking
JED.
about, are you talking about the equivalent of a job creation
Yeah.
ordinance?
Mhm.
That's actually probably a good idea, maybe we ought to look into that.
Yeah, I was just, you know, I mean, the 60% for 10 years, that's, you know, that will cut into, you know, the revenue flow. I'm just thinking from the county and the township level as well.
We, the schools and ours, we're excited because as it sits right now, you're getting taxes on vacant land.
Mhm,
And we're
true.
getting something, and now, the other thing as an economic development director, what we look at is key points of bringing in certain things, because this won't be the only thing that surrounds it. So this will spark more development in the area, just bringing this there. It's gonna be a destination of people coming, they're gonna wanna go eat, they're gonna wanna visit their relatives. We're looking at getting down a nice family sit-down restaurant within that area, and that's kind of coinciding with this right now. For years, we were only been fast food in Brimfield, based on the numbers of median household and what the numbers were bringing. But with this assisted living center coming in, we have a very good chance of getting nice restaurants within the area. So I think, you know, as a development director, you look at key things like this to bring this, to help the area bring more money, and I think the schools are fully supportive, they understand what we're doing.
So, speaking of the JED, because that would be part of the Talmadge Brimfield JED, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, isn't that development, are all of them in the JED or required in the JED?
They're required to pay income
Yes.
taxes into the JED, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I meant.
So they'll be paying both Talmadge and us as well.
Yeah. Split.
And it's much needed right now, our budget is tight.
Yeah, because like I
Yeah.
said, the estimated, new payroll is like 4 million within like 3 years.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that would support
So
the
that
JED.
would be
Yeah,
beneficial.
that would support it.
And again, as Mike said, those funds can be used if they did need to increase safety, correct? Because that's,
It's those JED dollars
Are-
go, the 33%, well, actually 66% go to police and fire.
yeah,
So you've got a little bit that goes to roadways, and basically, I think it's less than 10%, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
the M and I is 10, yeah.
Well, I'm saying into a general fund.
Oh,
To
okay.
the township, really, it's minimal, it's mainly going to police and fire.
Okay.
And so it's much needed in that area. You know, our biggest draw for police and fire is not something like this, it's Walmart. So,
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and table it.
Yep. I think that's.
Do you think you wanna table it to next week, or do you think we'll have time to get, I know, we're the last stop before they can start, so do you think by next week we would be ready?
I would think, but I mean, I can't speak for, until
I don't
see
know
the
what other-
I
information.
don't wanna
but-
back any of our
Right.
commissioners into a wall for next
oh,
week, but
yeah.
I don't see a
I
problem
don't see a problem,
necessarily
yeah.
with him getting all of his information. And maybe
Yeah,
honestly,
wanna
as a
make
result of
sure.
this meeting, he may feel like he heard everything he needed to hear. I'm not sure, he's on vacation, but as a courtesy to our commissioner, I think we owe it to him to table it until he has an opportunity to, feel confident in what he's
Yeah.
voting on. They did just get this information,
No,
so
I-
we
we
give
did.
them
It was
the
Monday afternoon.
opportunity,
I understand
to be
that.
well informed.
So would your meeting be next Thursday, or Wednesday, I'm sorry?
Next Thursday.
Next
Next
Thursday
Next
is when it
Thursday.
should be scheduled.
Today's Wednesday, okay. And if he has questions, if he could maybe send them to Diana and she'd get them to us, or whatever, or you could send them to us directly as
You
well.
can give me, you have a card, and I'm happy to send that over to him,
I
or,
can,
how about, I'll give you my card, and you email me your information, and then I'll forward it on to him.
I
How's
have
that?
long since stopped carrying cards.
No problem.
I have your information, I think, Terry.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not looking for business.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you for all your
Thank you.
information and stopping in.
We're excited to start.
All right,
Thank
sounds
you.
good. Thank you.
Thanks
I'm
again for your
excited to
time.
have you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, take care.
Thank you.
Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Hi, Shannon.
How are ya?
Updates, our favorite.
Yes, I have a couple. Over the last 2 days.
I was gonna say, it's been,
I actually have more than I thought I was going to.
we're gonna get back on schedule, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, they're fun.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome. Okay, we have the stairwell to painting project. It is complete. There's a couple little spots that where little rust was coming up and he didn't like it, so he's gonna come back and touch them up.
Okay.
So we're complete with that. The annex building, the stair enclosure is to be completed by the end of August. The paneling that came in, he had to special order it, so it's not coming in. But I said, as long as we get it before the snow flies, I'm fine.
Yeah,
So,
we're good.
yeah, we just don't wanna salt that. So, if you look at page 2, the parking lot, the ceiling and coating of the prosecutor's office is complete. They finished that and it's painted and striped. And then if you look at the next page, page 3, they also did the sweet shop and they did, the sweet shop and they did the riddle block.
The prosecutor.
The prosecutor's sweet shop and the riddle block, they're done.
Yeah, because
And-
whenever I had to ask about that, I'm like, how is it? And you're like, it's scheduled. I'm like, good.
I was really nice.
I'm sure you were.
I just noticed.
It did look a little bit, yeah. And after 2 years, it just gets like that from the
yeah.
snow and the,
It's
even like at home, it's like, it looks bad, so.
It's the
Yep.
weather.
It is the weather, you're right, and it was really bad last year,
I
that
just had
weather
mine
was.
redone and resurfaced last year, and I noticed yesterday, or this weekend, I was weed eating some weeds I said, and I hit the side of it, cause I
Mhm.
layered it, and it's like a big chunk flew off, and I'm like, what the heck?
I know, our winter last year was hard, our concrete heaved it was bad, so last year's winter was hard on a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yep, but that's all I have.
Shannon, for the
Yep.
annex building, so we're just waiting for the glass panels
Yep,
then?
they're currently
Is there
putting in the glass
everything else?
panels, they're still doing it right now, but it's
Okay.
the bottom portion. So I don't wanna leave it exposed.
Yeah.
So they're gonna put in, it's like a solid panel that they're gonna put in the
Oh,
bottom,
okay.
you know, like a little trim period, so that had to be special ordered, so.
Got it, okay, yeah, because it looked like they were making a lot of progress.
They are, it's
Yeah.
just gonna be that end product to be completely finished,
Okay,
so, yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Alright, Shannon, so we
And
have
I
one
just-
resolution.
I know.
We're tabling, the rural, or the enterprise zone
Mm-hmm.
from Broomfield Senior Living in Village of St. Edwards. So I will make a motion, the Board of Commissioners accepts and awards the bid to Carvo Companies, Inc. for the 2025 Hartville Road resurfacing project in Randolph Township, Portage County.
Second?
Roll call? Yes. Jill?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121.22G6. The Board of Commissioners moves into an executive session to discuss details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for a public body or public office. If disclosures of the matters discussed could reasonably be expected to jeopardize the security of the public body or public office.
Second?
Sabrina? Yes. Jill?
Yes.
Great. I'm just zooming right along. I'll make a motion to come out of executive session. Second. Roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes. Jill?
Yes.
is there any action?
No action.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you. Is anybody next? You want me to go get anybody?
No.
I didn't.
All right, we got miscellaneous
Oh,
we'll do, and then we'll recess until public comment.
And then we
I do
went
have
into-
an update.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Do
county
you wanna do
administrator.
miscellaneous, or do you want me to give my update now?
Oh, go ahead and do your update.
Okay.
For the 250.
Yeah, it's quick. So the America 250 Committee is donating a tree to commemorate the 250-year anniversary of our country. So the tree is about 10 to 12 foot tall. It's an oak tree. They would also provide a dedication plaque 10 by 10. Also a commemorative shovel. In addition, I can tell you basically want to confirm the location and the date that you want to host the ceremony and the planting. So Debbie Sunderland has been wonderful to work with. She and Cassidy have worked well together on this project. She's with the Portage County Historical Society. They are happy to host the tree planting because in addition to America's 250, they are celebrating Portage County Historical Society's 75th year
Oh, nice.
next year. So it's kind of dual, it's nice. So, a couple things about that. The Portage County anniversary is June 9th. So, but that is not the ideal time to plant a tree. So I'm just wondering, we have been recommended to plant the tree in April, May. Would you like us to just plant the tree in April, May, and then host a commemorative celebration on June 9th, which is the same day as the Portage County Historical creation? Whatever. Yeah. What? Or do you want to do it in April?
I would rather do it in April. I think it's its own celebration. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're
Yeah.
coming to you, and what do you guys
Yep.
want to do?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right, fantastic. Then we will reach out, and then we will have more details as they are available.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. All right, we'll go to miscellaneous. I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners approves the June 2025 adjustments to the Portage County Water, Portage County Sewer, and Streetsboro sewer billing accounts as reported on the adjustment report submitted and reviewed by the Department of Water Resources.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes. Jill?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the kennel disposition report and intake report for June 23rd, 2025 through June 29th, 2025 as presented by Chief Dog Warden Dave McIntyre.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes. Jill?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the July 7th, 2025 certificate of the county auditor that the total appropriation from each fund does not exceed the official estimate of resources as presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes. Jill?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the kennel disposition report and intake report for June 30th, 2025 through July 6th, 2025 as presented by Chief Dog Warden Dave McIntyre.
Second?
Roll call?
Sabrina,
Yes. Jill?
Yes.
Alright, well, do we have any public comment yet, Cassie?
we do not that I am aware.
So let's recess until 11. All right, we'll reconvene. Is there any public comment?
No, ma'am, there is not.
All right. Jill, did you have anything?
No, I don't.
I do not. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Sabrina? Jill?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Have a good week.